Hi Skye, hope you're having a good week so far. So with a video lesson like this, I got the videos and picture from your mom already, and now I'm gonna tell you all the different things or remind you of the same things that we're gonna keep practicing for the next few weeks over the break. So the nice thing about the video is you can always come back and watch certain parts again if you forget what to do, or if you want to remind yourself, you have that as a tool for you. Or if you want, as you're watching this now, you can either write some things down, some notes for yourself, or have your mom help you with writing down some notes for your practice, so that if you want to refer back to that instead of the video, you have that option as well, okay? So we will just go right into it here. Like I said, we have a break coming up. Our next lesson will be in January. I'm just kind of reminding everybody of that this week. So we won't have a lesson for next week or the following week, okay? Next time I see you will be in January. We're still working on our white keys that we've covered so far. Remember, we have 6 of them now, right? We have B, C, D, E, F, G. So remember, we're spending some time each day that we practice working on reviewing those white keys. And the best way to do that for right now is probably still to pick one of those letters at random and practice finding them all on your keyboard, okay? Just like we do in the lessons together. Another thing you can try if you want to challenge yourself even more is to close your eyes and pick a key at random and play it and see how quickly you can name the letter, okay? Now I know we haven't gone over our last key yet. I bet you probably already know what it is, but if you land on one that we haven't actually talked about together yet, that's okay, you can just skip it, okay? So we're still reviewing our other 6 white key names, and let's see. Let's talk about, oh yeah, the whole note worksheet. So that looks perfect. We recently went over our whole notes. They get 4 counts, a really, really big long note there for the whole notes. And it's the only kind of note without a stem, right? So with the worksheet, we'll kind of take a little break from the worksheet portion, but remember we still have our theory pages. Okay, so that's been a couple weeks since we first went over that. And remember, we forgot that last week and I didn't get pictures of that for today. So we just want to make sure that we have pages 2, 3, and 4 done in that theory book that I gave you a couple weeks ago, so that we can go over that together in January and keep moving forward with the theory assignments there, okay? Let's see, next is the song from our lesson book. So we've been working on pages 10 and 11. Which is actually combined to make one big long song, right? And it finishes with one of those long whole notes at the end. So this one is looking and sounding great. We've got nice counting, we've got nice fingers with all of our correct notes on the triplets. Now the one thing I want to remind you as you work on it for the next few weeks is, remember, when we play, we want to make sure that we keep those fingers nice and strong and curved here. We're looking a little on the flat side, almost like we're getting them into pancake mode here, right? We don't want flat little pancakes. We want to keep them nice and curved, playing with the tips of the fingers, almost like you're creating little rainbows with your fingers, right? So that's the finger shape that we want to keep as we play in both hands on the triplets for these songs, or these pages. It's really one big song, right? And then we are also, I'm going to have you look at pages 12 and 13 on your own this week. So, and really over the next couple of weeks, right? So pages 12 and 13, it's the same type of thing. It's 2 pages, but they actually work together to make one big long song. So I'm going to show you a little bit of it here as we talk about it. So it starts with page 12. Page 12 is going to be just for your left hand, and we're still playing on the triplets with this piece, okay? So you'll notice we've got some new letters showing up here. We're gonna actually talk about those when you come back in January, okay? Because I've got some other things I wanna do with you as we talk about what these letters mean and what they stand for and how we can practice that as well. So for now, we're just gonna leave them alone. We're not gonna pay any attention to them, and we're just gonna focus on our, whoa, this book is trying to go places. we're just gonna focus on our notes and our counts, okay? So you notice we start out the left hand with some quarter notes. This might sound a little familiar to you as well. And then we go into this pattern of half notes, okay? So those are gonna sound different, right? The quarter notes will be shorter, the half notes will be longer. They get 2 counts each. Then we go over to page 13. Again, this book is not wanting to stay in one spot. Oh my goodness. Okay, now page 13 is just for right hand, right? Right hand is also on the triplets. And again, we start out with some quarter notes before we go to some half notes. And then right hand ends on a whole note. Nice long note, right? 4 counts. Then, look up here, we have a repeat sign. So you'll actually go back and play the whole song all over again, both pages, twice in a row, okay? So we'll start working on that too. That way you'll have a little bit of something new to keep working on over the break. And we'll see how we do going over that new piece with the notes and the fingers by yourself, okay? It's all stuff we've already talked about. It's just a different song with different combinations of fingers and notes types, right? Between the quarter notes and the half notes and the whole notes. Okay, so we'll have 4 pages in the book for next time. And then the last thing is our C pentascale. So very nice job. We've been working on saying the note names out loud as we play it for this week. That's looking really nice. For the right hand, we have our 3 scales up and down. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you how to finish the pentascale. So we've been working mostly on the scale part. That's the biggest part of the exercise. But you may or may not remember, there's actually a little bit more after the scales to wrap it up. So after the scales, we're going to do what we call a triad and a chord. Okay, the triad is actually a broken triad, and then the chord is gonna be multiple notes at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually move this so you can see my piano. And we're gonna go over what that's going to look like. Let's see, okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna show you the 3 scales first, because that's the part we already know, right? So we have C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, that's 1. Then we do it a second time. G, F, E, now 1 more time here, last time. G, F, E, D, and that's as far as we've gotten, right? Those are our 3 scales, up and back down. After we do that, this is what the broken triad looks like. C, E, G, E, C. So this time, instead of playing every single white key all in a row, we're actually playing every other white key. We're skipping them instead of stepping from one to the next. So we start with thumb on C first, then we're gonna skip over the D. We're not gonna play that. We're gonna play 3rd finger on E. We're gonna skip the F, no F. Instead, we're gonna jump up to pinky on G, and then we're gonna skip back down to 3rd finger on E, and skip down again to end with your thumb on C, where we started, okay? So again, that's C, E, G, E, C, every other key. And then the very last piece is what we call a C chord. So for the C chord, we're gonna take those same 3 notes that we just played, C, E, and G, and we're gonna try and play them all at the same time. Whoa. Now this tends to be a little bit tricky. You might not get this right away, and that's totally okay, especially when your hands are really little. It can be really tough to play multiple notes at the same time, especially 3 in a row like that, right? We have 3 notes all together. But I just want you to try your best, even if you have some fingers kind of wanting to tag along too. Okay, oh, my screen is giving me crazy things. And okay, still recording, good. So, if you have some extra notes in there, that's okay. If you have trouble getting them all down, if maybe only 2 of them go down and then that 3rd one gets down, right, that's okay too. We're just gonna start experimenting with trying to play all 3 at the same time. because the more that we practice it, the stronger we're gonna get, and eventually we'll be able to do it really easily. Okay, let's move this back up here. Okay, so that's how we'll finish the C pentascale, okay? So we'll give that a try over the break. Again, you can always come back to this video and look at this part of it again to see how I'm playing it, to remind yourself how it goes. If you're forgetting or you're having a hard time kind of putting that together, that's okay. Just do your best. And let's try and practice at least 4 days a week, every week over the break, okay? So again, we want to try and practice more days than we don't. So that means at least 4 days. And if we go over all of these things, we should be practicing at least 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Remember, we don't want to rush it. We want to make sure that we're taking our time with all of our pieces and that everything really makes sense. And that we're also remembering to do the things that are not in the book, right? Like the pentascale and practicing our white keys and the theory pages, okay? So we want to make sure that all of that comes together. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always let me know, okay? But hopefully that all looks good to you. And I think that is everything. So have a great break. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year. And I will see you back here in January. Bye-bye.